9/11. What ritual is there when you
American
do that?
spirits.
You know what I mean? Like,
Do you have feelings about like, like for you? I don't know if you would label yourself in any way spiritual, but like if you do, was there like some thing that brought you to what you would say your spiritual path, or like connected you with spirituality?
I don't know. Like, I think it's like a loose relationship with spirituality in that, like, kind of not quite agnostic, but I think it's kind of
not
like
fully devout.
yeah, like I don't have like any central figure in mind. I think if anything, it's like a nebulous kind of energy, like a group karma or a universal like karmic
Hell
energy
yeah.
type of thing. Because like, I mean, even it sounds like silly, but I'm like when I'm driving, I give like a lot of people a lot of grace. Like, oh, if like. You know, you're on a busy street and you reach an intersection. This person's trying to turn right, and it's like nobody else is going to let him in. I'll stop and I'll let him in.
Totally.
And I feel like that I get a lot of like driving and parking karma from like not being like a jerk on the road. I think,
100%.
and that's like kind of like maybe a little bit of an offshoot, but I think that kind of connects to the larger.
No, it's like religion.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, that is religion, like, or spirituality. I don't know what God is, or if he's a person, if he ever was a person.
yeah. I think it's like I think I just don't want to label. Besides, like, you know, the kind of like these long-standing religions, I don't want to label anything as
No, it's just
religion,
like
but it's like
the,
a spirituality, like a
It's
connectedness
the
or something.
same feeling of being proud to be American. You don't want to say I'm proud to be American, but I am American.
And you're proud.
He's a proud boy.
But no, it's
Well,
like
I guess because I asked you both because I know that both of you have had out of body experiences
Yeah, I know.
on psychedelics
Drugs,
to
yeah.
a degree, and like I hear people say that brought them closer to spirituality, but for me, it never did. It's not like it took me away from it, but the whole thing of spirituality of what I understood it as, kind of was already there.
I was just gonna say, like, whatever was. I guess my parents instilled what I still feel like is spirituality, and it's not as strict. I'm not as strict as they were.
Yeah.
With religion, I'm way more loose, but I guess that's still where it all comes to. What
And
I was taught.
you talk about energy and energetics.
Yeah, that's
at
because
first,
that's what I feel like. If God is anything to me, it's energy.
Yeah.
and
It's you and
obviously
me.
we're all energies. So I mean, these are facts. It's not just like a spewing out rhetoric. So it's just like we're all connected.
Yeah.
We can all never die.
See, what's interesting to me is you talked about we're all connected, we all never die, we're energy, and you had said that collective karma, there's a oneness and a unification,
Universal
a
consciousness type of thing.
Both of you are speaking about things that I would say, in terms of the realm of the self-help healing spirity side, a lot of people say like to get those thoughts, you have to have a trip. You have to like, you have to break down yourself, and I just am so against that idea because I'm like sitting next to people and I know people. I'm like, that's not the case.
It isn't
like,
the case. Maybe it definitely helped.
for some.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people
But
have
it definitely wasn't like a factor.
these preconceived notions built around like whether it's like society and stuff, and it's like those are such long-standing and long-held beliefs that it's like almost you can't break that barrier down. But like you said, like you grew up with a religious upbringing. Like my parents were super devout, and I think I kind of like consciously went the opposite way.
That's where
That's how it brought me to here. Like
That's where
I think when I did DMT, it's like I didn't have any like closer relationship with like the universe or anything, but I had the thing where it's like, oh,
it's in your
like
head.
I was like, oh, I had this realization. I was like, oh, like this universal thing of like the Alex Gray paintings.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I see that now.
Totally.
Like I see where that comes from, and
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
everything is energy.
DMT,
but I'm
I
like,
guess, instilled more that like I believe now that everything is connected.
Yeah,
it just
I can see that. It
reinforced the belief. You were
Reinforced
Yeah,
a
yeah,
belief,
yeah.
like to where maybe that I
Like
was
a
something I was
verifying.
trying to run away from, but then I did that, and it's like, no, it's real.
Yeah.
You
I think
are all connected.
It definitely also, I think, brought to the idea of I'm not my body in me. Because, I mean, I was not in my body for that experience.
But you remember it.
But I remember it and everything. And I guess so that's where, like, I don't want to say for people, like, don't do psychedelics or whatever kind of thing. But I think it's put such a high price tag on it by saying, like, these psychedelics are going to set you free, or they're going to, you're going to have your spiritual awakening because of them. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I heavily
very high.
abused it and didn't have a spiritual awakening. So I don't know how you can minimally use it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna
Well, yeah, you only want to do hero doses. You don't want to microdose anything.
feel like you're gonna have some kind of great awakening from doing this.
Well, I think too that's why a lot like I come back to like the Western kind of ideas of this
What's
because
before Western?
well, it's like
Nothing really. It's just
it's just that everything was already there. Like it wasn't. Nothing was like classified as this or that, but it was like Western is just like I think
more like
it's
ancient
post-colonial
stuff, right?
Yeah, post-colonial, like where it's like somewhat
That's Western.
homogenized.
Yeah.
But
where
I'm
it's
saying
like
before
a
that is like
collective
ancient China stuff, right?
Yeah, everything
Like
just existed
Indian
on its
stuff.
own.
I think it'd be all ancient civilizations, Mayan, Aztec,
okay.
you know.
Yeah, and I think like how because a lot of like non-melanated people were raised with Western ideals and like preconceived perspectives and stuff. And I think that's like the whole spirituality thing now is like, oh, I've never had any other way to like think about or look at the universe. And this
That's
is just
actually
like
a really great point.
this is like, oh, I can finally like I don't have to think this way. Like that was kind of like I inherited that, and this is like a way to like look at the universe in a different way. But because it's so new and so young that people are like abusing it or going
No,
down
that's a
certain
good,
paths and like
because I'm thinking of
That's
my
a
family
great
from the
point.
South, and
That's a
they're
great point.
heavily into the church. And
Yeah.
they would never do a lot of things. That that.
And like I'm thinking about what you guys both I think about what you both said. Like I grew up in a non-religious household. You know, that just wasn't the thing. I got to pick and choose what I wanted. I remember thinking I was lame because I wasn't Christian for like
I wanted to be
for
Christian
that,
too.
yeah,
'cause,
they
like,
hang out on
there's,
those
like, cool
Thursday.
kids.
I remember thinking it was
Thursday
lame
Bible
to go to
study.
Bible study, but then too it was also like, oh, let's go to the church because they're playing a band.
Yeah. Oh, good. It's cool. We're gonna hang out.
Cool.
And I'm
We're
like,
going to
what?
the skate night at the church.
Yeah. But I never thought about the way you said it, and that's a great point.
That
Well,
is a
because
good
it's like
point.
they're just like, or like I would say them, but also us to a certain extent. It's like we're just like lost children trying to find our way because we're separated from like our
father,
our mother,
Faja.
father energy, like the masculine and feminine, because like those energies were so like concrete of like what it was you're supposed to look at these
Very
things, and
much.
now we're just kind of
Loosey goosey.
oh, that's not.
I guess
That's not, or you're finally doubting these
Drugs-
things,
some-
questioning.
I get
drugs
it.
do break shit down. I guess in terms of that.
They break you down, and I guess
Yeah.
to Josh's point, drugs could be white people's pastor.
Well, is it like born again?
That would be born again.
They're like born again, non.
Born again atheists. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
born again, unknowing.
Yeah.
Or
So-
born again pagans, I suppose you
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Because white people were
Catholic.
pagans too. But like before
100%.
Christianity, like it was
Celtic
pagan is just like
paganism?
is just non-Christian things. It's like
Non-Christian,
so like they viewed like the Spanish viewed like
I
the
think they were
Aztecs
pagan all the
nations
way
as
up to like
pagans.
the Salem witch trials.
and Christianity actually just took a whole lot of pagan stuff. and
Yeah,
just
like
named it
Christmas.
Easter.
Like All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So this kind of leads us into our next segue. Joe Rogan talked a lot about doing DMT back in the day. Like he was kind of the first person to be like on a I guess large scale being like DMT.
and that was years after we even did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was still on Fear Factor when we did it and shit.
Basically.
Yeah. And I remember his thing. He's like, I was flying over.
Well, he did it in the 0G chamber.
in the chamber. And he was talking about, he was doing it. And I wonder, like, okay, for a guy like him, do you think that he found anything spiritual about it?
For sure, that probably, I mean, what's his name? The writer from Chappelle's Show, Joe Rogan's homie, said that he's not atheist anymore because of doing DMT.
Oh, Neil Brennan?
There you go. He said, I'm not religious, but there has to be something now.
Is
He's
Neil
like,
Brennan the really skinny white
yeah,
kid?
Yeah.
he wrote on Chappelle.
Dude, did you ever watch his special?
Kind of looks like
He's
Thomas
funny.
Middleditch looking
He's-
guy. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious, but bro, I think this is the dude I'm thinking of. Yeah, he is so depressing.
Yeah. No,
It's sad, but like, I don't think he's depressing. His battle with depression. I was watching his special.
very public with it.
So I could connect with so much of it. I was like, dude, like he was trying. And he even says he tried everything. He went through every single thing to try to not be, and he ended up doing the toad like DMT. And,
Yeah.
and he was like, I think it broke my head.
That's what he said. He said ever since then, he's like, I'm not going to say I'm religious, but there's something.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
in
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing is, don't
Ah.
know.
Yeah.
But he's like, I believe in, he's like, I'm not atheist no more. whatever.
I mean, that's like, I think it's like, well, because if you're atheist, you're kind of just, it's a little bit of, I wouldn't say nihilist, but like,
It is
almost like nothing matters. Like,
Yeah.
this is, we're just here, and like, it's
To be
like
an atheist, you literally have to, like, you're taking the hardest road out.
yeah, it's harder to be atheist than it is to be,
Yeah.
because like people like take a stand, like, you know,
It's like, that's
like
the
you're
hardest-
you're like a hard
you were
line.
Space Goop? Like,
Ricky Gervais, I do appreciate the way that he explains atheism, only from the standpoint of like, he's like, that's why I love life, because I feel like I only have this one opportunity. I've been blessed with this crazy experience. Like, wow. So, and I'm like, you know, that's kind of a cool way of saying
but he's one of the
Lucky.
few
that would.
that has that ability to be able to look at it that way, because not everyone is that privileged to be able to. Some people go to church and that's their only hope.
Yeah,
like a saving
yeah,
grace
yeah.
type of
100%.
Church is the
saving
They
grace.
literally go and give their last dollar to tithe because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
going to bring them some kind of universal karma back. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the idea of being a spiritual person also is kind of funny, because I think we've made it synonymous incorrectly about being a good person. Like, if you're spiritual, you're good.
or even just being like a fanatic.
Yeah, because I think you can probably be a Joe Rogan who had a changing experience, and I'm not saying he's bad or good, but it doesn't mean you might have this third eye opening experience, and it doesn't mean you all of a sudden are going to be some like
Different person.
yeah, or like in like a better person.
Just know more.
Hopefully, you might, but
Yeah, I think to that end is like, you're saying that the like whatever drug or substance is like it's going to change you, but it's like you have the realization, but it's really the work afterwards. If you want to change, you have to like
Yes.
change all your behaviors, and
That's
that's
exactly
the big
it.
thing. That's the hard thing is like you might have this experience, and then you just go back to being whatever.
what you were doing. It's the
Third eye
same
opens
thing.
and closes.
It's the same thing. People go on their
Calcifies.
10-day
recalcify.
when people go on their 10-day
Celery juicing diet.
No, like when they go on retreats, like their 10-day retreats, and then they come back like, oh my God, it was amazing. I found this, I did this, and da-da-da. And then they come back and they insert themselves right back into the same world they were doing without having a practice probably before then of like, what does self-awareness look like, and how can you integrate what you learned aware, and then probably no steps to take with it. And yeah, I feel like if you're just doing drugs without, or whatever you want to call it, medicine,
Whatever you want to call it.
because I don't want to like hurt. I know people call it medicine. So if you're doing that, but you're offering it to people, but there isn't any type of like, how self-aware are you? What kind of self-awareness practices do you have? What type of habits and behaviors are you going with? If that conversation's not there, then exactly what you said. It's like you're just gonna. It's just a new circle.
Yeah, you're just gonna fall back into old behaviors, and then you need that that next retreat to like bring you back.
Yeah.
Question: is it illegal to do kombucha?
You mean
Combo, DMT? Is this stuff illegal?
Bufo is. Combo, I don't know.
So all these shaman are just drug dealers that aren't getting persecuted?
Well, because it's not classified under.
I think Bufo is.
What's it called?
Level
scheduled,
3.
yeah,
DA.
it's not
Yeah,
scheduled.
it's not scheduled drug.
Crazy.
I'll tell you right now.
Because that just dawned on me right now. I was like, all these people that are just promoting their little ceremonies on IG are just blowing up their own spot, right? That's illegal, no? But maybe it is.
That's like, it sounds like Bufo sounds like slang. Oh, that shit's Bufo.
I know when I first heard it. Yeah. It does sound
That's that
like-
boof.
Or what's it like?
That's
I mean-
that boof. That's
Or like
crazy.
I think it was like in How High, like this is called Bufu by us.
By us.
It is Schedule 1.
So they are drug dealers.
Yeah, it's illegal to manufacture, buy, possess, or distribute
But-
without a DEA license.
But they're shaman.
War
so
of
it's
drugs.
okay.
War on drugs is
They're shaman,
not
so
so active anymore.
As
So
long
like,
as they're not melanated with backwards fitting
it's not
caps.
crack. It's different.
It's not crack.
If it's crack, it'd be quite different. Or
Would it?
heroin, maybe.
did you try crack?
You know who got
You already
caught?
used a pook, so
You know who
I
got
know.
caught with crack? It was
Ooh.
just this week. Oh,
With crack?
damn it. Yeah, and it was somebody that was kind of surprising. It was like
Like had the rocks on him.
Yeah, and it was like an NBA player or
Ooh.
something. It was like something like or like
was it Rondo?
Rondo got cut.
That was
just
it.
I thought it was just
weed
and guns. I thought
weed and guns. Yeah.
I thought it was,
Was it
weed
just
and,
weed?
I thought it was
Yeah.
weed and guns.
okay. Then
Yeah, I thought it was weed and guns.
maybe what I read kind of hung him because it
They
said,
probably tried it because they had.
They probably called it drugs.
They probably tried it because he had dreads in the picture. He looked like a hoodlum.
Nobody looks good in a.
at least he wasn't a
mugshot.
white person with dreads.
That too.
Dang, that's hilarious.
Oh man, I mean that's crazy. Where was he caught?
Probably one of those
Virginia.
states.
It was somewhere where it was somewhere like where it's okay.
Indiana?
Indiana. So
Oh,
I think it
Indiana's
was
terrible.
I think it was open carry state though, but I think it's because he had the weed with it that it was a problem. But he should just get it thrown out.
Probably in like a bag. Yeah, he will. He
yeah,
will.
you know what I mean. It's
Like
just,
what?
it was small pickings.
Anyway, though, yeah. So I was saying, Mr. Rogan, because he's got that giant platform. I'm guessing he's introduced more people to it, and now he has the
Had to.
opportunity.